Now, what should you do with your investments? And that's another big question. In the short term, the markets drop 10%. Do you raise cash or do you look for bargains? It really depends on your situation. You need a qualified advisor. We recommended the S.E.C. Institute, National Security Investment Consultant Institute, where advisors get trained to deal with these kinds of issues. You need to consider whether index investing is right for you or not. You need to consider whether gold is right for you or not. Episode 71 with Frank Holmes on moral democratic capitalism, we talked about the value gold might or might not have in your portfolio. Over the long term, you ought to look for ways to invest to rebuild American capacity. On the other side of this, there should be enormous opportunities. But I want to give you a warning, and this comes from the Securities Exchange Commission on February 4th, 2020. It says the S.E.C's Office of Investor Education and Advocacy is issuing this investor alert to warn investors about investment frauds involving claims that companies' products or services will be used to help stop the coronavirus outbreak. They said fraudsters often use the latest news developments to lure investors into scams. I'm going to put a link to this warning from the S.E.C. in our battle plan. It concludes by saying we urge investors to be wary of these promotions and to be aware of the substantial potential for fraud at this time. So if you read on a website, such and such has developed the latest vaccine, it's going to be available in the next month, you got to buy this stock now, be very wary. Make sure it's a reputable company, make sure they're not hyping the truth, and know the drug development process doesn't happen in days or weeks. It happens in years, potentially. Even if they speed this rapidly, and it sounds like they're doing it with one drug from one reputable company, it still could be many months before this is available to market. It might help in the fall or in next winter. Now, you also should rethink your Chinese investments. Remember, Chinese investments have no transparency, limited shareholder rights. They don't follow GAAP accounting, generally accepted accounting principles. We covered this with Kyle Bass. In fact, we covered it about the thrift savings plan, how our servicemen and women were investing in China without knowing it. So go back and review our episodes and battle plans, and we had a lot of these. If you've been watching our show, you have been warned about China in episode 23, 41, 43, 47, 52, 60, 65, and 69. And we'll put links to all of that in this episode's battle plan. We've covered this a lot. If you've been watching, you should have been prepared for issues with China. Now here's my conclusion. This is a challenge. It may be a crisis. But it's also an opportunity to rebuild America, to reset your family and your finances. EconomicWarRoom.com is where you can download this special episode battle plan. We will give you a summary, action steps, and links to articles. If you're watching live, it'll take me a day to get that up, but go to Economic War Room on Monday at the latest, and you'll find that battle plan. Go and check, and keep checking until you get it. It's important for you. And stay tuned to Economic War Room and Blaze TV. We are very well connected. When I tell you I'm talking to the top experts, I mean I'm talking to the top experts around the world on supply chains, on what's happening in Korea, on what's happening in the White House, on what the response is like in California. We've got our finger on the pulse of so many locations. You should stay connected to us. We are even called on for our expertise in some areas that I can't tell you about, but I've shared information with people, and you need to stay tuned because we will keep you informed. And I want you to pray. I want you to pray for health, pray for China, pray for Korea and Japan and Italy. Pray for God to stop this virus. Pray for people who are ill to recover. Pray for wisdom. Pray for blessing, and pray for the protection on your family. We need to get on our knees and ask God to protect this nation. And we need to remember, what we see as a marketplace, our enemies view as a battle space. Thank you for watching this special episode of the Economic War Room. This is Kevin Freeman from the Economic War Room.